Hi guys, welcome to our channel. This is Crystal and Zach with Staycation Expert, and if you haven't figured it out, we are making homemade pizza. So we're using some yeast, sugar, some pork pepperoni, capsicum, onion, mozzarella cheese, maida, and some chicken because we're going to make some barbecue chicken with that, some salt. But first, the most important thing about pizza is our sauce. So let's go. So for me, a good sauce, I like to roast my tomatoes on an open fire. There's no water, there's no oil, and we're going to do this until the tomatoes become soft and black. So you're probably wondering why we're doing it this way. It's because it gives the tomatoes a really good smoky taste. So Zach here has added his water, his yeast, and some sugar. And he's used about 4 tablespoons of yeast and about a half a teaspoon of sugar. And basically, you're going to sit there and wait for it to foam up and the water to become completely cloudy. You'll see that the yeast will start bubbling, and that's when you know it's ready. So while his yeast is doing his business, let's go check out my tomato sauce. So here you can see that the tomatoes have become black, which is perfect. It's going to take about 10 or 15 minutes for them to completely turn black. I'll show you that in a little bit. But let's move on over to Zach. And now you're going to watch some of his chopping and enjoy the music. He does like to chop and make everything precise. So I've sped up the video so that you don't have to sit there and watch the whole 35 minutes of him cutting up vegetables. So enjoy. Oh my God, we are so lame. We forgot to put the mic on, but he's saying side effects of onions because he's crying. Now it's time to look at our pizza sauce again. We're going to add some additional ingredients, which is, for me, I'm adding 1 chili and a whole head of garlic. We like to keep the skin on for added flavor, but you can add as much garlic and as many chilies as you want to your sauce. My family doesn't like it super spicy, so that's why we only use 1 chili. Would you look at those tomatoes? I mean, like, if you've never burnt anything, and I'm an expert at burning, like, this is perfect. And this is exactly the way the tomatoes are supposed to be. So I did that great. So now I'm going to add the garlic and the chilies to the tomatoes, and we're going to take this over to my food processor, and we're going to blitz it all together, and it's going to smell amazing. And then we're going to add more ingredients. You're probably thinking, oh my gosh, what has she done to that pan? Don't worry, it's perfect. We need it. You're going to add a little bit of olive oil to it. It's still going to be sizzling hot. It's going to loosen up. And once we're done blitzing everything together, we're going to put it back in the pan. So it's going to add a lot more flavor. So don't worry. So I like to use this brand of pizza oregano and as well as the thyme. They're not sponsored, by the way, but I find that their dried ingredients stay fresher longer. So these are really good items that you can pick up at any local store. That we have all the ingredients inside, that is the garlic, the thyme, the oregano, and the chili. It's all been blitzed together. It smells amazing. So we're going to take this and we're going to put it into the saucepan with a little bit of water, and we're going to cook it down till it becomes a nice deep red and thick sauce. Yay, the yeast is activated. I can never do this right, so I'm glad he can. So we're moving on to making the dough, and first things first, you want to make sure that you have a nice clean counter with no crumbs from the vegetables you were chopping, because you'll be kneading the dough on the counter. So since he likes to measure everything, that is 4.5 cups of maida, 3 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil, and a half a teaspoon of salt. And you basically just mix it together with the wet liquids, which is your yeast and water. And simple thing to remember when you're making pizza dough is you basically need it to get to the consistency of that like chapati maida. And That's all you need to do. So you may need to add some flour and a little bit of water along the way to get the exact consistency, but that's basically it. So aim for chapati dough. That's all you got to do. Would you look at this sauce? Now, the reason why it's not a bright red sauce is because we roasted our tomatoes. If you had just boiled them and mashed them, it would be red. But I like a darker sauce, and oh my God, I can't tell you how good this smells. Okay, so we are near the end of him kneading, and I don't know the exact science, so don't quote me on this, but basically you're going to put your fingers in, and if the dough bounces up, that means that she is ready. So all you have to do is basically fold her up into a ball, get a bowl, a little bit of olive oil, put some olive oil on top, and you're going to put either a towel or saran wrap on top and let her sit. This is what she looks like after about 35 minutes of sitting, and she's not ready yet. So let's take a look and see what she looks like after 2 hours. Ta-da! She's ready. So you're probably wondering, why the heck are we going outside? Well, we thought how boring it is to cook pizza in the oven. It would be a lot more fun if we cook it over a barbecue. So this is our eldest son, and he is setting up the barbecue. He's an expert at starting this, so we're leaving it to him. But we are using charcoal. You can buy this at most shops in Chennai. And of course, not sponsored by Weber, but if they want to, they can. No objections. But, anyways, so just enjoy the music and watch how he starts the fire. So we're using this thing called a charcoal starter, and basically you'll need charcoal and some of this little kindling stuff that you use to help start the charcoal. And you're going to layer it. So you put some charcoal, this kindling, then charcoal again, and then a little bit more of that kindling, and then charcoal, kindling. And you basically just want to have it even through the entire charcoal starter base. And at the end, you will either need newspaper or some paper towels. And at the bottom of the charcoal starter is open, and you can stuff newspaper or paper inside, and that basically helps ignite and light the charcoal and the charcoal starter kindling. So that's what he's doing here. It takes about 20 minutes, 10 to 20 minutes, depending on how well you've packed this to get all the charcoal started. All right, so we have been told that the fire is lit, so we're gonna go outside and check that out. Say hi to Sierra. Anyways, here, take a look at the barbecue. The coals are nice and hot, and he's going to add a little bit more for reasons that are beyond me, but he said they are required, so okay. But anyways, this is what the barbecue looks like, and he's using this little thing that basically blows air like a fan. You spin it, and it helps make the charcoal hot. That's what I'm told. Tonight we're using my cast iron pan, and that's going on the barbecue, and once that's hot, it's going to come back. Swaggy Dilly is here. He is stretching out the dough. You really don't need to use the rolling pin to roll this dough out. You can use your hand. It is a hand-tossed pizza. Ergo is the name hand-tossed. So that's what he's doing. And if you make mistakes, this dough is really forgiving. You can just piece it back together and keep stretching it. So you basically want to get like an even base all the way around. So here comes the dad. He's going to check and make sure that it is pretty much consistent all the way around. And we're just waiting on that cast iron pan to come, and we're going to put the dough inside. So that pan, when it comes back, is going to be piping hot. So you want to be super, super careful, but you don't ever want to put pizza on a cold pan because the cast iron pans take a long time to heat up, but once they do get hot, they stay hot for quite some time, so you have some room to work with and really not rush here. So he's putting the dough inside the pan. He is putting the pizza sauce onto the dough. You can put as much sauce as you like. We kind of like a thin base sauce and more toppings, but each one is different. So you basically make it the way that you like it. If you like a lot of sauce, add all that sauce. Here we're adding the chicken. I basically took the chicken and deep fried it, and then we shredded it. So you can deep fry it on the stove. I have a deep fryer, and that works great. but it's very simple. Just deep fry it and shred it afterwards. So now we're adding the mozzarella cheese. We have found that this brand of mozzarella is actually much better than the other brands that we worked with in the past. So we're quite happy with the way that this melts. Now we're adding the pepperoni. Like I said, you can get this pepperoni in the city in Chennai. It is a little bit expensive, but you get about 2 kgs for about 1,800 bucks, and it really goes a long way. We have used it and made about 36 pizzas, just pepperoni itself. Now we're adding on our toppings, capsicum and onion, a little bit more cheese, and this is about ready. So now it is time to put it onto the barbecue, and it is too hot. So the solution to this, so that we don't burn our crust, is to put the lid on top of the barbecue and close the vents to die out the fire. So then it'll cook nicely. So it'll take about 6 to 8 minutes. Oh my gosh, you guys, like this pizza is absolutely amazing. Look at that cheese. Oh my God, it's so good. And the pepperoni, oh, The crust is nice and crispy. The center is soft. I mean, it just tastes freaking amazing. So if you like pizza, definitely try this recipe. It's foolproof. It'll be better than Domino's or Pizza Hut, and trust me, you'll enjoy making it. You can make it in the barbecue or in the oven, but the barbecue gives a better taste, I feel. So thanks for watching. Glad you came. Like and subscribe, and see you next time. Bye.